This is going to be a quick fire TradingView tutorial with everything you're going to need to know about how to use TradingView for specifically crypto investing. So if you're interested in Forex, head over to another tutorial. If you're just interested in messing around with TradingView, you want to know all the little details, this is not the video for you. But if you are somebody that wants to just use TradingView to check the chart, make money, and have a specific trading strategy that you know works, this is the perfect quick fire TradingView tutorial for you. So when you sign up to TradingView, it's going to take you to a website like this. Now you're going to need to click the get started, and you can find a link for TradingView in the description. I don't necessarily recommend signing up for any of these options just yet until you get a base understanding of TradingView. So if you click the link in the description, you can head over to TradingView and you can make an account completely for free. And then if you're serious about crypto and you want alerts, because that's pretty much the only reason why you need to go pro, I recommend getting the pro plan and using it specifically to use the indicator which I'm about to show you, and also to set alerts. That's the only reason why you need the pro. That's going to allow you to not have to sit on TradingView and worry about where the price is going, because you can just set an alert, and then when the price hits that, it's going to notify you so you can check it. This is how a lot of traders use TradingView and actively trade while having other businesses. They use the pro and then they set up notifications. Now, after you have created an account, you're going to see a page like this. Now, don't get overwhelmed. The only two things you're going to need to know is the news section over here, which I'll open it up in a new tab. And in the news section, you can see all the different news that's going on. So if you guys see these daily YouTube videos I either use it from this section, or I literally type in crypto news into Google, and then that allows me to stay up to date. Now, if you select crypto, you'll see all the latest news. For instance, you'll see this, over $1 million stolen from users on this one, Luna C. And this is how you'll stay up to date with the network and not get wrecked, okay? The next section is don't worry about any of this. Specifically scroll down, go over to the crypto section over here, and then start off by clicking Bitcoin. That's the first thing we're going to click. And once you click it, you're going to see it will open up a chart that looks like this. Okay, and you're going to see all the different prices. 5 years, 340%, right? You can't get that off gold, right? The next, you're going to want to click up here, super charts, right? And once you click super charts, you'll see that it's going to open up this chart. Now, guys, charts are only a representation, and I'll get all of my stuff off here. Charts are only a representation of the past crypto price. That's all it is. That is all it is. Charts is just a representation of the price history. So, for instance, if we go back to March, on the 11th, we can see that on March the 11th, 2023, the price of Bitcoin was $20,412, right? And then if we go back even more, we can see that the price was on Sunday, it was 16,700 and whatever, right? That is the history of the price. And at the top, we have different time frames of the price. Now, at the moment, I've got it on the daily. So if you can see up here, you can see it says D, right? Not big D, but D, that's a price. That means each candle is a day. So on this day, okay, the price has ranged between specifically 30,625 and so far 30,086, right? And by the end of the day, you will see the height, which you can see up here, and the low. So you can see it here again on Thursday, the 15th of June, 2023. The highest the price was 25,734, and the lowest price was 24,742. Okay, so 25,000, 24,000, the highest and the lowest. And to explain candles very simply without having to overcomplicate it, is when it closes, it moves on to the next day. Okay, and at the bottom, that was the lowest price. Okay, that's as simple as I can possibly put it. So you've got candle wicks, that's as simple as I'll put it without overcomplicating it for a basic tutorial. So the only thing you need to know for daily candles is that's the price range in which it was. Okay, don't worry about the wick and the body and all of that nonsense, right? Just focus on the basics, right? Now, you can see that there are different time frames, and as you click it up here, you have the 12-hour, the 8-hour, 6-hour, 4-hour, and so on. And on the basic plan, you will only have it, I think it goes up to about the hourly or the 30-minute. But if you go pro, right, which I recommend, you can see it on the lowest time frame as the 1 minute. But the thing that you need to be careful of is that if you have it on a really low time frame, it's going to wreck your brain. And in a really high time frame, you might not be able to see the price movements. Okay, so that is the difference. You now understand what the candles are, and that the chart is a representation of price history, and you also should now know how to change the time frames. Now, let's get onto all of these numbers up here. Okay, all of these is you have the highest price, the lowest price, and that's all you need to know. Okay, then you have like the change and whatnot. So you just need to know that the highest price is here and the lowest price is here. You can see in the top left hand side, this is Bitcoin against the US dollar on the daily candle for crypto, right? And if I change it, you will see that it will change to the hourly. So Bitcoin US dollar daily. I'm currently on the Heikin-Ashi. Don't worry about what the Heikin-Ashi candle means, but I'm currently on the Heikin-Ashi. That's why my candles look a little bit messy, but that personally helps me see the price flow. So if I go to the daily, you will see that it is nice and colorful like a rainbow, and the price just flows, right? However, if I go up here and I click this button up here, which you can see, now if you can't see it, you might have to scroll. So I'm just using my 2 fingers here, I'm scrolling over, or you can click this button here. And then if I click here, I can change the difference in terms of candles. Okay, so if I click here, you can see I can either choose to have it as a bar. Okay, this is the Chinese pattern, or I can have it as a candle, right? And candles, you will see it's a little bit different now. It goes red, green, red, green. For me personally, that might spark off emotions if I'm in a particular trade, or if I'm a little bit emotional. So I like to have it while trading. I like to have it in a Heikin-Ashi, okay, which just helps, as you can see, helps me look at it in terms of a flow. Now, you can change these candles simply by clicking here, okay, and then clicking the settings icon or double clicking, and then you can choose to do tons of different things here, such as changing the colors. If you click the settings, symbols, and you can change the colors of your chart. Personally, I either recommend doing 2 things, either going red and green, or changing it to do less emotion and choosing like blue and different colors like blue and purple or something like this. Maybe that helps you from provoking emotions. Now, don't worry about all of this other stuff like events, trading, like for buy, sell, canvases, anything like that. You don't actually need that. And I've been trading now for just over 2.5 years, and I've never actually had to do that. And I trade pretty good, pretty damn well, simply by keeping things specific. So that is an overview of how to change the frames, how to recognize the chart, and also how to change the colors. Now, let's get on to the fancy part. These are the indicators, okay, and how to draw your patterns. So the main things that you need to know is on this side chart, you will see that we have all different types of tools that we can use. Think of this in terms of your trading toolkit. This is your toolkit that you take to work as a trader, and this is going to help you to dissect this chart, because the first time we always get on a chart, it's very, very messy. There's so much going on, but over time, you'll see that if we can dissect it, it's going to make it a lot clearer for us. So here is your indicator, and you can choose to have a cross, an arrow, or a dot, right? And this doesn't actually change anything. It just changes how it looks. So if I want to have a dot, it's going to be a dot, and I can change it to an arrow or anything like this that I please. Now, the next thing down is you can draw your lines. Now, trend lines are very, very powerful because it allows us to break down the chart. If I draw a line here, it's going to help me clearly see that this is the top of the price. And you might have seen a lot of traders do that, particularly me. I like to use the line, most of all, to help me dissect the price. Then you can do arrows, raise, info lines, extend lines, trend lines, anything. I personally recommend favoriting these few. So you want to have horizontal lines, ray lines, vertical lines for dates. So for instance, I can have a vertical line here and I can set a line here. One line that I always like to do, which I recommend you guys do, is head over to the weekly time frame, as you guys will remember. Then I recommend moving over and looking for the 4th of March 2024. So if we go over here and setting a line for the 4th of March. This is going to allow you to stay up to date with the BTC halving, which is expected to be on the 4th of March. And now guys, it's going to change your complete paradigm, because now you can be patient and just trade very carefully up until the 4th of March, in which we expect to have a bull cycle. Now, the next thing is you can have parallel channels, regression bands, and much more. But like I said, I recommend specifically sticking with these few, because otherwise you may find yourself overcomplicating the things when you are starting out. Similarly to when you are driving, it's better for you not to have too much information like an F1 driver, and focus on the basics, because you can still perform. The next one down, I want to explain to you the Fibonacci, which is one thing that I really like to use. Which, how you can use it is, if you look at the highest price and the lowest price of a range, the Fibonacci is really going to help you, right? I personally like to only have the 618 Fib, because that helps me tell where the main price is going to be going in simple terms. The Fibonacci 618 is a very, very powerful fib, and as you can see, I have simply put it from the highest current price to the lowest current price, and it has already showed me an area of strength, which if I go back to my lines and draw a line here, I can see the highest and the lowest price. If I simply put it here, lower it down to that 618 level, which was the yellow line, you can see that I've clearly, without overcomplicating things, have shown myself where the areas of strength are, and now the area of support is. And if you guys have been keeping up with my videos, you will see that this is very close to a specific point, which we are currently looking for to return back to if we enter the short from here, which would be a 18% short. Now that doesn't mean that the price is going to go 18%, but if the price came back down, you would have full confidence by going to your Fibonacci, moving it from the top to the bottom, and recognizing that this is a potential area of support, meaning that this is a great position to go long on. Doesn't matter what the news is saying, what other influencers are saying, what even I say, you can make an informed decision for yourself to recognize to take a long from the 618 Fibonacci. Now, when you do your Fibonacci, it might look a little bit different, but you can simply click on here, okay? Go to settings on the Fibonacci, and you can pause this video here and replicate these settings. That's what's going to allow you to specifically only have the 618 and not confuse yourself with anything that is messy. So rewind the video if you missed that, but simply right click, settings, and then you can copy off here. I only use the 618 Fibonacci out of this option. The next options you have are very simple. You can either use a paintbrush, okay, highlighter, rectangles. Maybe you want to use a rectangle in this range to recognize that as a range, okay, and many other ways to make it fancy. Personally, I don't really use that. In terms of the text is amazing, because you can either tap here and you can just put BTC halving. I hope I spelled that right. You could put BTC halving here, just so you know. And now you see, we have now dissected the price. Without doing too much or going to overcomplicate things, we have now recognized that we have a clear support and we have a clear target for BTC. And the next thing I want to show you is this nice measuring tool, because you can measure from here to the day, and then now you can write it down on your calendar, or you can explain to yourself and help you see it clearly that we have 252 days until the BTC halving. This is also great because it also allows us to look at how far the price can go down on a potential move to calculate it, and how far the price can go up on a potential move to calculate the possible gain. Next, we have the plus icons, magnet icons, where you can set a magnet, okay, so it will automatically magnet towards things, lock icons and other things which you don't necessarily need. So guys, let's get on to indicators and how you can use the Ichimoku indicator to help you out. Those of you guys that have been following me for a while, you will know I've been using plenty of simple languages in terms of how the chart works, but I'm gonna burst your bubble here and go into a little bit more detail on the Ichimoku strategy and on different strategies like the Kumo breakout. Now guys, if we head over to indicators, which is up here, we can see a list of indicators. Now, you can pause the video here to see the different indicators that I like to use. I have been experimenting with moon cycles, guys. Don't hate me in the comments because weirdly enough, it works. Like, look, I don't know why this stuff works, but I don't really care about, you know, the ifs and buts about things. I'm about making money. And this moon cycle thing does weirdly work. You know, if we move to daily, which the moon cycle's on, every single time it's the moon, by the end of that moon we pump, and we have always pumped and dumped at these things. So conspiracy theories shout out, but yeah, the moon thing, it does work, and I have used it and personally made weird gains, but I don't use it as something to trade off. I use it as a confluence. For example, we're currently on a half moon, we're looking to short, we're already short. Ironically, hooray, we're on a half moon. And if we went over to the biggest high, conspiracy theories alert, you know, guys, get active in the conspiracy theories chat below. But why was it that we was on a full moon, okay, on the dump, full moon on this dump, and a full moon on that dump, and a full moon on every single dump? We've never been on a huge dump and been on one of these like bright moons. So yeah, weirdly enough, the indicator does work. It is verified. I have tested it with my own money and it works. But one of the indicators I want to show you guys, and one that has really worked for me, this strategy will always work for you, in my opinion, will always work for me, let me say this, right, is the Predictimoku, specifically Cloud9 modified Ichimoku. This is an indicator that is modified specifically for crypto and has really worked for me. I was given this strategy by Coach K. This is a guy that you can follow in the crypto space and has really worked for me. Now, this is the cloud, so make sure you guys are writing it down. This green thing is a cloud, and you can see it goes from red to green. The top line is a Kijun, or a Kijun, as you can see here. If I make it a bit better here, let me make it a bit nicer for you guys. Off this here, so you just double click. Here we go. Let me make that pretty. So the blue line is called the Tenkan. Okay, don't worry about what all these things mean. You actually don't even need to know, so I'm trying to keep this simple. I will add a longer explainer, which is a little bit better in the description. Okay, the yellow is the Kijun. Okay, the Chikan, okay, is this line here, as you can see here. Okay, and delete these two, which you won't need them, and then you will only need to understand the cloud. Now, whenever, this is going to be key for you guys to understand, and it's really helped me. Okay, always, oh yeah, disclaimer, always keep it on the daily. So if it's not on the daily, it doesn't matter. Okay, only trade off the daily with this strategy. Whenever these lines, as you can see here, are inside of the cloud, they do not count. Okay, that is the first thing that you need to know. Whenever these lines are inside of the cloud, they do not count. Now, whenever they are outside of the lines and they are crossed, okay, so whenever the Kijun and the Chiku cross, that is a bullish signal. So as you can see here, on the 13th of March, let me make it a little dot, so it's a little easier. On the 13th of March, when the Kijun crossed and the Tenkan crossed, this was a bullish sign, okay? We also seen this cross as well. It also crossed price. That is a bullish sign and bullish momentum. I personally went long here. A lot of my community went long here and made a lot of money from this, okay? The cloud itself, when it's red and when it is green, is fairly simple. When it is green, that is bullish momentum, and when it is red, that is bearish momentum. When we are under the cloud, we are bearish and looking to reject, and the thicker the cloud is, the more bearish momentum there is. So in times where a lot of people, especially a lot of the news, a lot of social media, will be very bullish on price momentum, if you see that the cloud is thick, so if you see this, I like to call this a big booty cloud. If you see that the big booty cloud is thick, that is an area where there will be a lot of sell pressure and a lot of price to be rejected from. Now, you can see that in this area in August, we've seen the price come down, tap the cloud, okay, and reject from the cloud. We then rejected 1, 2, and 3 times from the cloud, which were amazing opportunities to go short. Now, trading wise, the cloud and the Ichimoku, just like any indicator, is not a predictor of the future. This does not mean that you need to like zoom in, which is what I thought. I personally, with this strategy, when I was first testing it out, I thought if it hits the cloud, that's it. So I would set my sell orders. I would set my sell orders here, but like, I'm going short from here because the cloud, you know, we're hitting the cloud. That is not what it means. You will need to back this up with traditional TA, which I will show you after you understand this strategy. Now, you will see that if you look at areas where there is potential sell pressure, as you can see here, you can then match that with the cloud and know and add them all together. You want to look for 3 to 5 points where you can add them together and be like, okay, we are inside the cloud. That's bearish, right? You can look at the lines. You can say these 2 lines are about to cross. Let me zoom in a little bit for you guys. You can say, right, the yellow and the blue line is about to cross. That is also bearish. Then you can add it with TA and say, right, this was the lowest point, which was support over here. It was a huge support because we wicked down and flew back up. So clearly there's a lot of buy pressure there. But are we going to pass it? This could be an area of resistance. Then you can look at a lower time frame and see, okay, we have rejected from here. The lines are now crossing, and you can enter a short, an informed short from this point, the bottom of the cloud, and you have the potential, okay, where you would have made up to 20% gains. Now, obviously, guys, this is hindsight, but as you can see from keeping up with my channel, most recently, we have seen from the bullish side that we are waiting for a return back to here for what is called a Kumo breakout. I know I was telling you guys Ichimoku to keep it simple, but the official name is a Kumo breakout. And this is where we come down, confirm, and we will confirm bullish. Okay, so it really does work. And you can see that multiple times, if you even back this up with TA, okay, and look for areas of support which have now turned resistance. If you draw a simple line, support which has now turned resistance, you will see that multiple times we have came up to these levels inside of the cloud, which is a bearish momentum, matched it with a support level, which is now turned into resistance, support, now turned into resistance. You have seen that there's multiple times where we have offered amazing shorts. Again, another section, areas of support, which have turned into potential resistance. Okay, if you were just matching it up with hindsight, so, you know, at the time it would look like this, and you would be like, okay, where do I enter a short? You would say, okay, resistance, resistance, we didn't stay up there too long. Potential support, resistance again, where we have came down, we crashed down from there. We are approaching it again, informed decision for a short because we are inside of the cloud. Again, we went down. Now, this also works as a potential way, if I just clear the chart, as a potential way to make an informed decision for a long. Are areas where we have seen where we can go mega bullish, which in my opinion was the bottom. This, I don't think we see 15K again. I hope we do. I really do, because I will buy a lot of Bitcoin. I really hope we do, but I don't think we do. Okay, at areas where we have seen this, we have seen that on the macro, we have seen a macro cross in momentum from red to green on the cloud. This means that we are macro bullish until we cross again. And as we said before, the thicker the cloud, the more bullish we are, which means this is now an area of support. And now we can see that on the cross is an amazing opportunity to go long. We could have gone long from here at any time. Obviously, we would have went longer on the bottom of the cloud for support if we broke through. And obviously, we would have lost one trade, but we would have made money on this trade here, on the cross here, 14%. On the return to support, 17%. But one interesting thing and one lesson I would like to share with you guys is the cloud offers an amazing opportunity to find support, but it is not the only bottom of support, and do have risk management so you don't get wicked out. One lesson that I learned, this is why I was saying about the same thing when we reject. Okay, so when we come in the cloud to reject, you have to remember that it works in both ways. when we come inside of the cloud, okay, there are areas where you want to look for support. This area here, this area at the top would also be considered a support. Now, you want to have risk management so you do not get wicked if you long from the bottom of the cloud. The reason is because there will be a lot of longs here. And if you are doing 10x leverage, 20x leverage, which, you know, is completely up to you, you need to be careful about your risk management when entering the trades, because the price can always go against you and trade below the cloud. But, you know, it does have an area where it could come back. So you don't want to be in a position where you lose out from a trade, okay, because you have gone, you know, long in this area, it's gone down 1 or 2%, right? And you've been in a position where you could have made a lot of gains, because you have seen here again, price momentum crossed, the two lines again that we talk about, the blue and the yellow line cross. And then as you see, we have ridiculous gains, okay? So that is a simple explanation, a very, very simple explanation using simple language, explaining how to use the Ichimoku trading strategy. If you would like to know the Ichimoku trading strategy in depth and know each individual indicator and what they do, check out the link in the comment section. I will pin a video where you can see everything explained in more detail, okay? And try this strategy out for yourself. Personally, this has worked a lot for me. And one thing that I'm currently doing, if we go back to the TA, is we are drawing a simple line from here to here. That's a key level, okay? And we are looking for a return down to the cloud here, or we could even long from the bottom of the cloud here, which are two very easy trades which can make 20 or 10%, or obviously 10% short as well, which are three very key trades which you can do, which allows us not to get caught out in the, you know, in the mess and in the drama of the crypto world, and make informed decisions for trading. This is a trading indicator that can really, really help you. And if you watch this video a few times, it's really, really going to help you make informed decisions. So I would like to ask you now, what trade do you think you can make from this specific point? Is it a short? Is it a long? What are the two trades? Are you going to go short from here, or are you going to go long for here on a daily time frame? Personally, I recommend always keeping it on the daily time frame. And just a warning, this trading strategy that I'm personally using does not work on the 4-hour or anything lower than that. Now, guys, I promised I'd keep this short, so I'm going to keep this short and leave that there. If you would like to know more, or you'd like me to go into more depth, step by step and whatnot, please let me know. There will be a pinned video going into more depth on the Ichimoku trading strategy and all of the keywords. I would like to express that I am currently testing out this strategy, and personally I have much more to learn, but this should help you guys keep up to date with my videos, follow along with the trading strategies and continue to make money, because this stuff really does work for me personally, and I do think this is going to help you guys a lot. Thank you very much for staying up to date with the channel. My name's Tyrell and I am here to help you. And if you would like to know how to make money online, and you would like me to coach you one-to-one completely for free to start a social media marketing agency, a drop shipping business, or a reselling business completely for free, I will help you make as much money as possible from this business, make 5 to 10K per month, and invest it into the crypto market so you can join along with me, not have to worry about the market, have zero pressure whatsoever, to allow you to test infinite amounts of strategies and dollar cost average into the crypto market before the 4th of March. Thank you very much for tuning into the video, guys. Take care and have an amazing day.